to Beauty Pioneers. How's everybody doing today? I am Coach Lee Hill, and we have here Coach Don, hair coach Don Ferguson as well. And today, Don, I didn't even, I, I knocked out, so I fell asleep. I was like, it was glad. Remember the video you sent me this morning?
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much going to be the topic because I was doing hair this weekend, and I was like, them trimming ends. I'm like, it looks so bad, and a lot of times we don't want to cut the hair. So
Mm-hmm.
what I did was put the topic as why our clients' emotions are tied to their hair and hinder their hair growth. Yeah. So I kind of was like, dang, Don was right on point as usual with the whole what the topic was going to be about, which I knew you was
Mm-hmm.
going to be in on it because it was something that she said in the video, and I was like, Don just said this. Like, remember you say this you said this a few times. You said if your nails growing, your hair growing.
Right.
Right. So let me just open it up with I was doing one of my clients' hair, and she had super long hair, and I had did the Peter Coppola smoothing treatment on her, and it came out really really nice. But one of the things that I was paying attention to, I'm like, her ends needed to be trimmed so bad, but
Mm-hmm.
her husband was like, he didn't want her hair to be cut, and I was just like, you need hold on. I was like, okay, so you know what we did, and it was crazy because you had put that video was talking about it. I was like, you need your hair trimmed because what it was, it's doing exactly. It's like her hair was here, but I'm gonna tell you, all the way up to here, it needed to be cut because it was just like split ends,
Mm-hmm.
really really bad. And I'm like, you need to trim all of that. Like, you know what I mean? It's gonna grow back, but you need to be able to trim it. She's like, oh, you know. Oh no, I can't trim it, I can't trim it. I'm like, it doesn't even look attractive. That's the other thing that women, especially our women, um we don't realize. We think that you walking around and everybody looking at you like you got long hair. But when they look at the back of it, they can see the bad ends, how trashy it looks. Looks like it's like chewed up on. So it's like you really need to cut it. But you think that people are saying, oh, look how long your hair is. It just doesn't look healthy, right? So I decided to like do something on that. And how are you doing today? You are looking gorgeous as usual. You been able to rest since your trip and everything, my dear?
Me?
Yes.
No, I hit the ground running.
What?
Um, I hit the ground running. I had scheduled appointments, and I thought you were talking to someone online.
Uh-uh. I'm talking to you
um,
because I feel like I haven't spoken to you. You like we both been grinding, huh?
yes, ma'am. So I've been I hit the ground running because my clients leave a deposit, so
Oh,
so I won't have to refund their deposit. I have
right.
to adhere to my part of the deal. So um yeah, it's been kind of challenging, and I'm tired as well. But I think this is a really, really great topic.
I'm
Um
working 7 days. This I was like, I don't work 7 days. I'm tired. I'm glad Tuesday I get off. Okay, but you
oh
said that you glad that we talking about this topic,
mm-hmm.
and why is that?
um I've had that experience in the salon where they're not that they don't want their hair cut. They don't see the the need of the trim, and I understand the trauma behind it because some stylists are extremely heavy-handed. Once you give them a yes, you say
Yeah,
it's a trim, and it's a miscommunication in your trim and haircut and the length, and I didn't realize it was going to be this short, and
right.
the whole gamut. So the trauma behind cutting your hair just on its own, I understand the dynamics behind it just as a stylist perspective.
Right.
So you really have to ask key questions. This is where you go into a conversation with the client.
Mhm.
Because if they have long hair and it's like, okay, I want it like bald. Okay, that's a drastic change or look
Right.
different to their
Right.
appearance. And a lot of times people don't want that. It's hard to handle that drastic change, or
Yeah.
because everybody has an opinion. Girl, what happened to your hair? Girl, why your
Uh-huh.
hair look like that? What is going on
Uh-huh.
with this? And so we're so critical of how we look. So
Mhm.
the a haircut is, we all know what a difference a haircut makes in a man.
Right. Right.
You
But
just
you
be
know
like,
what?
oh, uh-huh.
But you know what? And I like that you brought up like about like a lot of times hairstylists, even if they cosmetologists, they, especially they old school cosmetologists, they didn't
Mhm.
have like that strong hair cutting background. So a lot of
Mhm.
times they done traumatize the clients because they're like, I'm just giving you a trim, but then you done took out 5 to 6 inches and now she got a
Yeah.
bob. You know what I
Yes.
mean? You
Yes.
don't even know how to cut it into like a layered look that's still a add length
Mhm.
and just
Mhm.
give it the trim like you said because they don't want it drastically. But
Mhm.
I on that video the lady was saying how we cut hair for the client. You know what I mean? Oh my god, instead of doing what's right and being able to educate them. So for me yesterday, what I did was I took my client into the bathroom and I showed her. I was like, look at it.
Mhm.
And she still was like, I don't really want to cut just yet. I'm like, okay. But it's going so far up that to be honest, it's going to defeat the purpose. And I think that women need to understand that you're going to defeat the purpose
Mhm.
of um growing out your hair if you don't. It part of maintenance is not just going to the salon and and getting your trim, I mean getting your wash and style, but also part of it is you have to trim your ends. I know women who and I was talking to a client today. I said it was a lady that came on the comment thing and said she hadn't washed her hair in a year. I was like, now I know that lady don't have no man. If she working somebody office and they having like a Christmas function or a celebration, I don't want nothing that she cooks because I just think that is just the epitome of gross, right? And
Yes.
so, I was showing her, and then then I silk wrapped her hair, right? So I pressed it out, I silk wrapped it, and she loved it. But her cuticles, I said, listen, your cuticles, they're gonna lay down, they're laying down, but they're gonna eventually kind of like look crazy because it's a temporary type of situation. So I'm just like,
Mhm.
I tell them, put your phone on camera and give it to me. Seeing is believing. Oh, that's really, really good. That's MME Flair. That's a good one. I like to put them in the camera too because I'm like, I need you to look at it. But they'll look at it and they still be delusional. They still be like, oh, it's okay. Because they just happy because they see the length. And I'm like, I can see your shirt through your hair. And they be like,
Yeah.
yeah, but it's okay. I'm like, well, okay, now I done said all I could, you know what I mean? And then I get it, like you say, they're traumatized, and it's like she's like, how many inches? I said, you really need about 3-4 inches off. But I would do it
Mhm.
gradually for you so it won't be so drastic. But they like, no, because they got a date night with the husband. So they're like, no, 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 I just want to leave it long. And I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
but it does need to because it's not attractive. Even if you
Yeah.
have, so if you ladies, if you have long hair or you're trying to get your hair long, you have to trim your ends. We're not scissor because you remember they say we're scissor happy. I'm like, we're not scissor happy. It's just that it's our hands, it's our work that we have to work on. And when you walk out the door, that's going to be my name on it as well. And then we care about our clients. We care about your well-being. So one of the things the lady said in the video, she said that women, black women are connected emotionally to their hair. And I was like, well, what does that look like? And why our emotions are tied to the hair. Um, One is hair equals identity and visibility. Now, I done told the story many times. I was the child. My mom had six girls and six boys. Sorry, three girls and three boys. I'm the oldest sister, but I ended up being the sister that had hair. Right. My other sisters, it took them a long time to get to where I was. Right. And I'm 10 years older than them, and so when I got to the 12th grade, I did the prom. So I did the Halle Berry cover. And I was in 12th grade. Halle Berry, I think it was Halle, yeah, Halle Berry had came out, so I did the cut. And I came home, and my dad said, "Baby, that girl is a lesbian." Lord, Lord, Lord. Baby, look at it, look at your daughter, look. I was like, "What?" He's like, "She's a lesbian now. She don't want to cut off all her glory." I said, I had never heard that before until I cut my hair, and my dad was like, "She done cut off all her glory." I'm like, "Cut off my glory, but it's your
Yeah,
hair
yeah,
is your glory." So I was like, "Oh, okay." I finally started in the Bible. I'm like, I
yeah.
guess I'm going to hell. And so, but I was free, and my sisters was bad. My sisters was like, she just cut her hair off, and we over here trying to grow our hair. That's old school. Yes, yes, honey. My dad was like, look at this girl, child. Oh, look at her. Look at her. Every time I came through the door, he's like, oh. And if I, like you talking to him and you talk too fast, oh, you talking like a man. You cut your hair like a man. You talking like a man. I'm like, Lord Jesus, give me strength.
Yeah.
So why are we tied? Hair equals identity plus visibility. How it looks can influence how a black woman feels, right? Accepted versus judged, confident versus insecure, celebrated versus criticized. Don, do you know how does that look like when I say those things? Accepted versus judged.
We're all looking for acceptance. When we walk out the door, that's why we beautify ourselves. That's why we don't beautify ourselves.
Mhm.
Everything is tied into our self-esteem and and how we view ourselves. So some of us attach ourselves to material things. That's what makes
Mhm.
us feel beautiful. Some of us work on our bodies in terms of fitness, because
Mhm.
that's where our glory is. your
Right.
glory your glory is going to show itself. You're gonna
Right.
be
Right.
that which you admire, right?
Right.
So um it a lot of it is imaging, how we see ourselves, and then the images or the attention that other people receive when they look a certain way,
Right.
right? Because who's looking at you from behind? You aren't looking at you from behind, so how do you know your look from behind, right? So
Mhm.
this whole phase with this BBL thing hit the market, and it just like took off, and it's
Right.
such a grotesque statement, but it's how the bigger the insecurity, the bigger uh the defects.
Mm.
Like the lashes. I think I look beautiful if all I have to do is put some lashes on. Ma'am, do you know those lashes? Those are inadequate. That does not enhance your look. It defaces your look. But
Right.
because you know, someone looks at you, right? They're gonna look at me. So of course, I got to. I look good.
Uh,
So
right.
I got a reaction.
Uh-huh.
Negative, positive, I got a reaction. So you continue to get this look that, it's like a statement piece. You could tell which economic bracket you're in when you see
Mhm.
those lashes. And I try and tell the culture, do you see that on where do you see that on the red carpet?
Right.
Where do you see it? These are the images in which you don't see those lashes on Beyonce. if Beyonce has on a pair of lashes, they look like her natural lashes.
Right, right.
You know, natural beauty. We go to the extent to such harsh extremes to we exaggerate our beauty. If you're
Mhm.
born a woman, you're a natural born queen. So there's no
Right.
need to exaggerate your look. There's no need for a drag. I'm already a queen,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
So, that's why I tell women your beauty is to be enhanced, you know. So there's no need to drag your face through the mud, drag your body through the mud, deface your body, and a
Right.
lot of it comes from low self esteem. Keisha Cole talked about it. You know,
Mhm.
they've all talked about those infections from those bad choices, on their
Mm.
on their bodies. You
Mm.
know,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's a heavy statement, and I think we're gonna have to tap into that because I was thinking about something one night. I woke up like 2:30 in the morning.
Hmm.
Asked me why, because you can't go back to sleep, and I just start writing down. Like when I get like these things, I just start writing,
Hmm.
writing, writing. And I said something to myself. I said, "How can I tell women about taking care of themselves and self love and all these different things and point out to them you have low self esteem, right?
Hmm.
And but not understand. I'm one of those people, which my friends get annoyed by me, but I be like, when I see somebody do something, I always want to know what's the source behind it. It's not just like a person is doing that just because something had to
Right.
happen. But then it is some people in the world that do things and it's just because that's who they are. But a
Hmm.
lot of times the reason is it's a reason behind it. And so I think that we got to do a live dedicated because one of the major things that women don't talk about, that men don't talk about, is abuse.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Abuse. Whether you had dealt with an abuse when you were a child, you had childhood abuse, and that could have came from your mom, your siblings, different things like that. And that's what
Yeah.
shapes your beauty. And
Right.
I think that we have to be able to not just talk about just the thing of low self-esteem, but understanding the why. Because what it
Mhm.
does is it will help you, whoever you are, whether you're 25, 15, 65, and you're still walking around with that 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 trauma that happened
Yeah.
to you.
Yeah.
You don't realize that it has you've been carrying like this, like a body around the whole time, and it explains why you may not care about your looks, or why I had a friend that was absolutely, she is beautiful,
Yes.
hourglass body and everything. And I was like, she always tried to cover it up. But when you talk to her and she shared with me her childhood trauma, she does not want men to look at her in a certain way because of what happened to her as a kid, right? And her
Mhm.
sisters. And it was really,
Mhm.
really bad, and I
Mhm.
was like, man. And women going to the doctor to get cut to look like her, but she's trying
Mhm.
to cover it up because that's what shapes her beauty. She's naturally a beautiful girl and her
Mhm.
spirit is beautiful, but because of what happened to her, she's walking around as that victim, as that person, and she's not really living. And a
Yeah.
lot of us women are not living. I know men have gone through the same thing. Men have been in relationships where women have been abusive to them, but I'm talking about all levels of abuse, from a
Mhm.
kid,
Mhm.
you were in school and you had that one girl, because I was a bully that picked on people and things like that. I was a bully because somebody bullied me. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So you have to be able to, it forces people to look at themselves and say, why am I this way? So when you
Mhm.
see a woman, like I said, my friend who is drop dead gorgeous, long hair, beautiful skin, sweet as pie, love the Lord, all these different things, but
Mhm.
she does not like being looked at sexually. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? And every time she go out, even though she does her best, they look at her that way. So that's one
Mhm.
form of abuse. So I think that a lot of women, like I'm glad you said Keisha Cole pointed that out, like a lot of women, including myself, that had to realize that I'm behaving this way, or I'm living this way, or I'm protecting myself this way because of this that happened to me.
Mhm.
And once you face those things, and it's hard to face, but once you face it and you feel what has happened to you, whatever that emotion is, and you talk about it, you get the help you need or whatever, you will find that you're actually able to live a more fuller, better life. But a
Yeah.
lot of women, that's why we're walking around with 10 pounds of weave in our hair. That's why, I know of one woman, she never take the simple things that you just like, that's not a big deal. It's a big deal because they live in fear with that. You know what I mean? Like, oh no, no, I don't want nobody to see me like
Mhm.
that. You know what I mean? Or I don't
Mhm.
want them to know. Or you got the woman that was married, that had a bad marriage and say, I don't ever want to be
Mhm.
married again. And she only
Mhm.
40 years old and they don't never want to get married again. Well, why they don't never want to get married again? Then you
Mhm.
talk to them. I'm talking about my clients. You talk to them and you're like, oh, well, you know what I mean? She was abused, sexually abused when she was a young girl or whatever. Then she got married and that whole situation was just as bad. So they're done with men. So it's a lot that goes into it. And guess what? I don't need to do all that to my hair. I don't need no
Right.
makeup. I don't want no makeup. I don't need no man looking at me. I don't need it. I ain't trying to please no man. Then you got those
Yeah.
type of, you know what I'm saying? So it's
Yeah.
levels to this, but we have to be able to talk about those things. And certain things you may not be able to talk about. Certain things you may have to go lay on somebody's couch to get the help you need. But for me, I think for my part of my purpose and goal is, and today when I was doing my coaching, I see the work. I see my clients, my sisters, like lives changing just by little simple steps to do. And you see them living. Oh, I'm going out with my girlfriends. I'm like, oh, okay. But when they started out, they like kind of like, I just, this type of way. And now they see them, they start seeing how beautiful they are. They like, oh, it didn't take
Yes.
much to do this to my hair. And I see the difference. And now they're
Yes.
starting to live. And then we
Yes.
talk about the issues. Well, why
Yes.
you think that you're doing this? I like to do that. And if it's too personal that you don't want to share, if it's too traumatic, you probably need to go see somebody. You understand
Right.
what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Don, you know what I'm talking about.
You preaching tonight, sister. Hallelujah. I'm past the plate line in a minute.
Don, don't start. Don't start that over there. Tanya Mathis say, I agree. MME Flair says, holistic looking at the whole. Yes. MME, bullying starts really early. Started with my daughter at 4 years old in pre-K, and that comes from things going on at the home. Absolutely. Town Queen B, encouraging self-love, inner work, and healing is very important. Absolutely. A lot of time, I remember doing this video, and Don, I know you can identify with this. Doing this video, I think I was talking about myself, how I had my parents had passed away. So my parents had passed away 4 months apart. This is all happened in '08. I lost my salon. I was humiliated, because I made bad decisions. I made bad decisions, right? And so all of that on me, I had all this weight. And I remembered putting all this weave in my tiny head. You know what I mean? On my tiny head. And Don, it was like here, and it was like, and my back had got big because you know what I mean. When I put on weight, I wish it would go into places you want. We all want the weight to go into places we want to go. Get on the back side of where. No, 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 no. It got in my back, and of course in the front area. And I was just like, I went to eat a bowl of cereal. I'll never forget that day. And I put my legs up. I couldn't breathe. I said, I can't breathe. I didn't even realize that I was in that state.
Mhm.
And I looked at myself. I had a gray shirt on and some blue jeans. And the gray shirt
Mhm.
had army on it. And I looked in the mirror and I was like, I couldn't breathe, put my legs up. And I was like, why is this hair in my head? It's almost like you coming out of coma and you like, why did I do this? Why I got this weave? Why I got all this weave, this curly weave? I don't even wear I was wearing short hair. And that was my thing. And I went to my ex and I was like, hey, I need to go see somebody. And I said, I need to go see somebody and I need a trainer. And he was like, whatever you want. You know what I'm saying? And I had to drop off. I had got to 180. Now, mind you, my whole life, even after the kids, I was 115, 120. So you putting on all that weight, and weight, let me tell you, good lady, something. Weight symbol, it tells people something about you. And it's what I was about to say too. However you carry yourself, a lot of times we think that we're hiding it with all the makeup on, with the
Mm-hmm.
long lashes, like Don was saying, the lashes that don't look natural, with these 10 pounds of wigs and weaves and all these different things that we're doing. But it always, I don't know if you realize it, it's like when a man says he can tell a victim, when he like, oh, she a victim, I can get it. It's the same thing. It's
Yeah.
like you're telling us something is
Yeah.
wrong. Weight
Yeah.
tells people something is wrong. If I
Yeah.
see you, yeah, even if you lose a lot of weight, it says something might be wrong. You know what I mean? So,
Mm-hmm.
not saying it is, but those are telltale signs. But we think that if I do this and I look like a celebrity, and one more thing Dawn brought out, like she said, Beyonce wears natural, her lashes look natural. When
her
you
whole
do
look her whole look is natural. Her
right,
whole look is natural glam intensified. Her
right,
makeup, her lashes, her hair, it is all natural. It looks like this is her.
mm-hmm,
The only thing is her costumes, right?
right,
Only thing changes out are her costumes, are her fashion. But when you look at her aesthetics, her hair and her makeup, it is always natural unless she's doing some type of little, fairy glittery thing. And I think she had done a beat on that one time where
mm-hmm,
she really went in a lot with the makeup. But that was the one time and only time I've ever seen Beyonce like with a lot of glamour. She's always been, I mean, color, like color
right,
makeup. You know what I'm saying? Her look is always natural. Her
mm-hmm,
look is always natural. And that's the goal in the beauty industry in makeup, is to master that natural look.
right,
That natural look. I'm still the same person, right? But you've
mm-hmm,
just intensified my look. Not with putting
exactly,
a whole look at what's her name? Tatiana. Her she puts her work and her value into her body, right? She
Tiana
tones,
Taylor.
she works out. Tiana Taylor,
Okay,
her.
okay, I was like,
Her thing is her physique.
mm-hmm,
That's her brand. That's her selling power. She
right,
owns it. She owns it. And her whole aesthetics is that her look is natural. And
mm-hmm,
she's that girl from around the way. She give you all levels, right?
yeah,
And
yeah,
and on all levels, her look is natural. It's a
mm-hmm,
classic. It's a classic look. So I don't understand where we get this aesthetic look of exaggeration. That's why I say it's tied into our self-worth. That's why it's so disastrous. It's a beauty cry for help. It's like, so when I
right,
see people, like when you see the dark skinned lady walking the street, we've all seen her, her blackness, the world beat her down because she's black, right?
mm-hmm,
Normally when
mm-hmm.
you see her, she got a blonde wig on, she have some red lipstick on,
Who
you
you
know.
talking about, Don? I don't know who that
When
is.
No, I'm just saying when you see a derelict
Oh,
on the
okay,
street,
okay,
like if you her the world has beaten
mm-hmm,
down her blackness. Like you could tell she couldn't fight no more. You know
right,
what I'm saying? It's like when you always see the dark skin or that particular person, you can see the depth of their despair, I should say. I don't know
mm-hmm,
if I said it right, but that's where I'm going with it.
right, right,
The makeup is, well, long story short, or back to the Beyonce, the look in the beauty industry is always um natural.
right,
The goal is always natural. So when it goes beyond that, it lets me know that it's a deeper issue going
right,
on within the person. They're coming from a place of delusion,
mm-hmm,
because you can obviously see, if you think those look okay, then who am I to correct you, right?
right,
So you have yet to accept that your lashes or this look is hideous. So
Right, right. You know
right
what?
on. Mhm.
Even with the Beyonce thing, if you notice when she's not Sasha Fierce on her on the thing, if you see her with her husband or whatever, she got a sleek back ponytail. She not walking and I think that I think you said something about this, and I was trying to remember what you said, Don, about how like because even Cardi B, like when Cardi B, I'm like, you know how long Cardi B hair is? You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
they like, oh, I hope she come out with a hair product. Why? That you're not
Right.
gonna do what she doing to maintain her hair, and it don't have anything to do with money. You
Right.
you can do the simple things that don't cost a lot to maintain your hair, but you won't. But you'll go out
Right.
and buy that platinum wig that Cardi B
Right.
got wearing, and then you go into the job looking like that. You
Yeah.
glammed all out, and it's like, ma'am, we just
Where are
need
you
you to just,
going?
ma'am, just answer the calls and do the data entry. What is going on? You understand? And that's the problem we have embraced. And I said this in one of the videos last week that our natural hair has become is when we have to do it, it's like a project to us. It's so hard. You know what I mean? And I was talking to my client because she the one that said it. She said, doing that, our hair shouldn't be so hard. And I'm like,
Hmm.
exactly. It's nothing wrong with weave. It's nothing wrong with, but it is when you're wearing more of when you're more in love with the costume than the original. That's where the problem lies at, and that tells us something is going on with you. What you may not think that, you know what I mean. You may
Right.
not think it, but these people, you see that you're looking at that you're like, I want my hair like this or whatever. Remember, those people are they're performing. When they get off
Right.
of that stage, they're
Right.
done. I
Right.
remember when Keisha Cole had the short, I think she had a shortcut. Remember, she was blonde. She used to be
Hmm.
wearing, she did the blonde hair. She was, looking beautiful. She was doing relaxing. And then my client started coming to me and say, I want Keisha Cole. Keisha Cole hair is soon gonna fall out. They did. They was like, I said, and I'm not a hater. I absolutely love Keisha Cole. But I said,
Right.
if Keisha Cole and Eve, this back, I'm taking it back. Eve too.
Hmm.
Eve was doing
Hmm. Hmm.
the platinum blonde, but still getting relaxer. I said, science
Hmm.
wise,
Hmm.
the science of cosmetology. That's why you got to know who you're going to. Science wise,
Right.
you can't do relaxers in a permanent color. It's going to take it out. It's going, and eventually, but the next thing you know, that girl was wearing wigs. Eve was wearing wigs. When you watch Eve's show, she flipped from the what they was Rough Riders with the paws.
Hmm.
She still look
Hmm.
great now, but she
Yeah.
switched over to she had to go over the wigs, and I said she going over the wigs because her hair done broke off.
Hmm.
And that's the part that we don't see. We don't care. We like, I don't care, honey. I just need a moment.
Yeah.
Just give me one moment because I'm gonna kill him. I mean,
Yeah.
you slaying. You slaying all right. Let me read these comments real quick and see what they're talking about. I see y'all in
Hmm.
here talking up a storm. What's going on? All right. Curtis Carter, hello. MME Flair, yes, makeup enhances what's already there. It now, you know what, MM Flair, makeup can enhance what's already there, but we have seen where men have divorced their wives because the women have taken the makeup to a whole another level where they don't even look like who they're portraying. So makeup can enhance, but if you do too much, you can create a whole another you and you don't even look like that person. So that's Dawn thing. I'm sure she's gonna comment on that. D Town Queen B, I just told someone the other day that none of the women in our family wear makeup. Okay. Tanya Mathis, ladies do not like to be original. Yes, absolutely. Not necessarily ladies. I'm just gonna put it out. It's our community. You know, I know y'all be like, oh, she always gotta say black women. It's our community. This is what we're doing. I'm telling you, the day they put their hands on them lace fronts, oh my God, they ran them up. They running them up right now. It's like, Lord have mercy. The dog call them the helmets. The day they put them helmets, ooh, honey, they started having them special, that 199 special. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. It was a
Yeah.
mess. MME Flair, social media has contributed to that as well. Absolutely. Tanya Mathis, true, me Flair. Let's see who this is. I don't know what that is. Um, Queen Janae, 20 more donations for her, please. Okay. D Town B, it took 3 hours to press my hair today. I do not own a wig. Okay. All right. All right. So thank you for those comments in there and so on and so forth. But yeah, so I think that what we're basically saying, Don, and I want you to elaborate on what I just said about women. It was a time where we started wearing makeup when makeup was really, people are now into their skin. I love seeing the men going to spas and getting they
Mhm,
skin taken care of and stuff like that.
mhm.
And it was a time, especially with women, and then they were like makeup. And I remember watching the Kardashians, and I think Kim was having a baby, and she said, "I need my glam squad." Then I'm like, after the baby, you can't even you have to have makeup right after the baby, like just enjoy the bonding or whatever. But she had to have it because, and I
Mhm.
understand. I said, well, she is known for her beauty. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
Halle Berry was known. She was like, stop that because I'm aging. You know what I mean? And so I was like, this done got out of hand. Even though
Mhm.
Kim Kardashian is a beautiful woman, but it can get to a point, like I pointed out, that they wear it to the point where they change their whole look. What do you
Yeah.
say to that? Like, you know what I mean? Because it done went from enhancing to I don't even want to look like myself no more.
Being in the beauty industry, we are hired to create images, right? So they
Right,
hire us to create the images to present to the public. They hire us to make the celebrity look a certain way to, present to the public. When you
right.
are a celebrity, you are being paid based on your image,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Lisa Ray is extremely particular about her look. It's not about if she hires or book people within the union because they already kind of certified. They're in the union. So
Right.
it's a different aesthetics. When you come with Kim Kardashian, she's on television.
Right.
I don't want to be on camera without my foundation on, you know?
Right.
And some women don't leave the house without their foundation on. It's not that I
Wow.
don't want to wear makeup. This is I
Mm-hmm.
feel confident, right? When
Mm-hmm.
I have my makeup on. I don't, it boosts my self-esteem. That's the
Right.
whole point of cosmetics. That's why it's such $1 trillion, industry, the
Mm-hmm.
industry itself, because they know that everybody have insecurities. So if I can
Right.
sell you this
Right.
product to help you enhance your beauty, then
Mm-hmm.
bingo. That's why hairstylists make so much money, or colorists make so much money, or hair people that can cut hair, skilled professionals do well in the industry because they provide a service, to the public. You can go
Right.
somewhere, you can go to some other part of Florida and still secure income for yourself because you can cut hair, you can
Mm-hmm.
shampoo hair, you can color hair, you can put on the hair aesthetics. Your skills
Right.
go
Right.
wherever you go. So um most people that doesn't happen for them,
Mm-hmm.
right? They have to find a great professional to secure their look for them. So it can be
Right.
kind of challenging. So they're like, it ain't a bunch of Don and Lethers running around here. I got Ray Ray down the street.
Right.
He barely clean his clippers. This, that, and the other. But I can't cut my hair myself. But you go to Ray Ray and
Uh-huh.
his tools aren't sanitized and you get an infection. So
Right.
what's the point?
I don't think anything is wrong with enhancement. I think that when it turns to drag queen, like you looking drag like, and
Mhm.
when you can't identify the person, I'm telling you, I have seen people out that are my friends, and they like me, and I'm like, hey, and I don't know
Yeah,
who they are. I can't recognize them.
yeah,
So it's nothing wrong with enhancement, but let's not play the game like it's not women out here that's changing a whole look.
Yes.
and that and it is, and I mean, I have watched videos and I'm like, she putting on is layer after layer. I seen one girl, it was on TikTok, she like was pouring the bottle, pouring it on the thing and like putting it on her face. And I was like, okay, I definitely understand this got to be some mental illness going on right now, because she was just taking it and she was like, and putting it on her face, the concealer all over. And I was just
Wow.
like, what the heck? She looked kind of ghosted. And she came back and put the foundation on. I'm like, okay, this is not normal. But she was literally changing her whole look. So, ladies, I understand. I understand that, you know what I mean? You guys are like, oh, it's nothing wrong with enhancement. I agree with you as well. There is nothing wrong with enhancement, but there is
Yeah.
something wrong when we, even with our hair and everything, it is something wrong when we want to, I don't know how to say it, because I think Don, you worded it correctly. We are hired to give, to help with someone's image and all those different things. But there are some women, like what's the guy that sued his wife? He asked for a annulment and sued the wife because when he married her and she came home, took all that stuff off, he was like, "You don't even look like the person." She had a whole different foundation. Now I've seen this too. I'm like,
Wow.
now I'm dark. You know what I'm saying? I need a foundation that match. I have seen where women like, I want to be this complexion. They put it all down in their neck, and I've seen that. You know what I mean? So
Mhm, mhm.
that's what I was really more so hinting on. So let me go down here and see what you guys are saying, because y'all was in it, honey. Teresa says, I grew up Pentecostal, so we weren't allowed to wear makeup. When I start using after 18, it was for occasions, right? Then I only had foundation, mascara, and something for my lips. Nowadays, you need a whole toolbox. You're not lying now, because I'm telling you right now, I'm one. I'm not coming on no live with no makeup on. So I definitely agree. And a lot of times I have to do my videos. And then I go to, and I'm working and stuff like that. I have to wear makeup. I'm like, well, I don't want to say I have to, but I feel more comfortable. I feel good about myself. I got my outfit on. I got my makeup on. So you want to look good. Nothing wrong with that. It's a
Yeah,
personal choice. What you say, Don?
of course.
Yeah. Yeah, Flair says it's a personal choice. Me too, Teresa. D Town Queen B says there is nothing wrong with enhancements. I once owned a hair salon, so I totally get it. Yes, absolutely, I agree too. Bree Everett. Oh, Bree Everett. Oh, wait. I don't know if I'm saying it right. Bree Eserifa. Hi, ladies. So happy I caught you today. Yay! We're happy too. Teresa, the game changed when you need paint brushes, toolboxes, and layers to do makeup right. The problem is that 14-year-old girls are walking around with layers of makeup on already. Yeah, yeah, that's something. And Teresa, too, my mom I did, she from the islands, but she was 7 Day Adventist. She didn't get her ears pierced until she was 35. I thought that was interesting. She didn't
Wow.
even get her ears, but she was like, oh no, 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 no. Yeah, because they put fear in you. Them churches today, they will put the fear in you, honey. You can't even, honey, you going to hell for everything but being a child of God, right? And so my mom was the same way. She didn't really wear makeup. Her thing, when it was their anniversary or something, she would put on her red lipstick. And my dad would be like, oh, you looking good. And I'm like, child, she just got on, and some blush. that's, that's what they did or whatnot. But the reason why we were talking about the fact that some of the things that we know is necessary that we want to do, like our hair and our makeup and things like that, is fine. And I was telling my client today, because she was talking to her husband about what kind of look does she like, and does he like, and he was like, he couldn't even identify. I said, because as long as your hair look natural and you look nice, men don't care. They a lot of times they don't even know what's fake or what you call it. It is just the fact of him seeing you take care of yourself is what he appreciates. That's what they appreciate. You know what I mean? So That's the thing too. D Town Queen B says they are called the Sephora kids, and we have many of them here. Wow. Poncho, the Bible should put fear in you. Uh huh. The Bible should put fear in you. Okay. Well, thank you for that. D Town Queen B. My mom bought some makeup and my dad threw it in the trash the same day. Whoa. He was like, he didn't want that. He liked her just the way
Mhm.
she was. Some men
Yeah, because
like that.
men want natural makeup.
Uh-huh.
They don't want to see green eyeshadow. They don't want to see that shimmer eyeshadow. They want to see you look natural,
Right.
naturally made up. Even my husband be like, okay, we going out, you can put your makeup on. You know what I'm saying? Like he even noticed, the difference. Okay, we're going somewhere, you need to put your makeup on because I don't wear it. I put it on for the show, but
Right.
it's not like I just started putting it on more
Right.
because it's like down in the islands, them girls ain't got nowhere to go and they got on makeup
And
because
they walking around the house looking fabulous.
well, it's a part of the culture. They going to
Mhm.
work, you know what I mean, but they're made up. And technically, as a beauty professional, you you are what you are.
Right.
So I used to wear makeup a lot, and now I'm glad that I'm able to wear it again. So um, yeah, I think
Right.
enhancing your beauty is we all need that. And that's whatever boosts your self-esteem.
Mhm. Mhm.
I'm all for self-care, self-enhancement, self-love, self-empowerment. I
Right.
just think that the cry for help is clear when you see these beauty antics or services that are just drastic. You know where they're it's mental illness there because we all know
Mhm.
our self-esteem is directly associated to our mental psyche.
Right. Right. So Keisha, hey Keisha, hey ladies, it's so good to see you.
Hey, Keith.
All I am late to the live stream. I will go back and catch the replay. Yes, ma'am. You missed out on a lot. Poncho says, I think all that makeup, piercings, and tattoos that women adorn these days is disgusting. All right.
See?
Teresa says you can show a happy balance, but there's not many who show the balance of how your makeup enhance features, but they all look alike. Yeah, they do. Flair says I didn't realize I would like makeup as much as I do. The color theory made me fall in love with it. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
The color theory of makeup. Um, I didn't start wearing makeup till I was 30 years old. That just give you an idea. I didn't
Mhm.
start wearing makeup till I was 30 years old. And even then it was like I brought it because I was like, I'm turning 30, I should have makeup type of thing.
Mhm.
And then, you just wear it. I wore it sparingly, and then after a while, you start wearing it because now you're traveling. You know how it is doing you on
Mhm.
stage and all that. You don't want to be looking all plain. And Don, it's interesting. I wanted to point this out that you were like out. Your husband got to be like, Don, you wear makeup. You do makeup, and you do a great
Yeah.
job, by the way. But
Thank you.
you do makeup, and I'm like, I noticed you even when you come to do our makeup, it be lightweight.
Yeah, you
It be
have to
lightweight.
have
You, huh?
our professional look, what they tell us in the book,
Right.
right? It's a simple play. It's just foundation and powder. You
Hmm.
fix your eyebrows, groom your eyebrows. Some people just, their face is smooth. They don't necessarily have any pigmentation in their
Right.
skin. It's a smooth texture all the way around. So they don't need makeup. They could just put on some mascara, some lip gloss and go, right? Like,
Right.
that gym look. But uh for me, um I look better in foundation.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yes,
know,
I want to. I like. What do you think about the tint makeup? Like the just the tint, because I really want to kind of go on that route, like
the
tint
tint
instead
the
of.
tint is great if if you don't have any blemishes. You know, you went out, Lee. Yeah. The tint is great if you don't have any blemishes. You keep going in and out.
Why am I going in and out?
I don't know.
Well, at least we at the end. Hold on, real
Okay.
quick. Hair flare. Am I still going out?
No.
Okay. In hair school, it was a part of dress code. It's ESP if we were on the floor and behind the front desk. Keisha say
Right.
I showed my coworker my photo when I was dressed up with makeup, and they swore up and down it wasn't me. I said to myself, I must be busted looking without just a hot mess. Summer's World, Leisha, where you been? Are you talking about me, Lethra? Or more? I do the natural approach to makeup. Hold on, y'all going in. Hold on. There's nobody on here named Leisha Summers World. I do the natural approach to makeup. Right now, I am dealing with post acne hyperpigmentation. I have makeup books by Bobby Brown and Iman on technique and color. What you say to that, Don?
Um, Hyperpigmentation is common. You know, I have eczema, and when you have eczema, uh, wherever you scratch, wherever you break out at, you
Mhm.
have to you're faced with trying to repair the skin. Some
Right,
people have breakouts, acne breakouts. I don't recommend an acne breakout and use cosmetics, but cosmetics is needed. That's why it's here. When I began my research on my makeup line, I realized how many different layers to makeup it is out there, you know,
mm,
from and in terms of the professional, the consumer, and how confusing it is for the consumer. Concealer is foundation and foundation is concealer. Is it a liquid? Is it a paste? What is it for? So it's very complex. So that's
right,
why it's so much out here, on the market, for us to try and decide. I think it's you have to find your type if you're going to
hmm
wear foundation or makeup or cosmetics. What is your skin type? It's not based on how Lethra looks,
hmm
right? Because our skin types are different. I may be oily, Lethra may be normal to
hmm
dry. So
T
we
T
we
zone right
can't
there.
we aren't able to use the same kind of cosmetics. So you have to customize your cosmetics based on your skin type. And if you're
Right.
oily, you need a water base foundation, you know, um, cream base, and you have to find a loose powder if you're oily, not so much a
Mhm.
compact pressed powder, because pressed powders carry oils, to bond them. So you may want to use a loose powder when setting your makeup. And yes, you will have to, set your foundation. But makeup is always based on your particular needs. All your beauty services it's just like what the young lady was saying. No one wants to be original anymore. We're all
Right.
we're individuals. No two are
Mhm.
alike. We
Mhm.
are we are similar, but no two are alike. Not even twins, right? They were like, well, they're identical twins. Yeah, but they are still two separate beings,
Right.
right?
Right.
Made
Right.
up of the same identity. So we yet to embrace, if we embrace our authenticity, we're able to move about more freely,
Mhm.
more, we're able to elevate, we become more confident, but it's just identifying and accepting who and what we are.
That's real good. And you know what? It's funny too because even I have a hard time. I probably would go to Dawn, believe it or not, because I'm about to start, like investing in that, like my makeup and stuff again or whatnot. And I'm like, am I supposed to be wearing oily? Am I supposed to
Mhm.
be wearing liquid? Am I supposed to be wearing cream? To be
Mhm.
honest, I really just want like a tint, like a nice. I like when they have that clean look. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Our more said it's hard finding foundation for oily, acne prone, sensitive skin. Wow. Mm, I'm so
Acne
sorry.
prone, acne prone, sensitive skin shouldn't be wearing makeup. You should be you should be seeing a dermatologist and be receiving treatments to get your acne under control. Find a solution to why you're having your acne breakout. It can be the environment, it can be what you're eating, it can be,
Mhm.
a stress related job. Find out why because remember, acne is inflammation. It's telling you that something's going on in the body.
Mm,
So cosmetics is a topical treatment. It's a fixer upper, right? So you need to heal. You don't need aesthetics.
mm-mm. That's crazy.
Mhm.
Man, that acne could be. I never even thought about acne being inflammation.
Yeah, it
Wow.
is. Mhm. The
And
body's reacting.
say it again.
The body's reacting,
Right.
you
The
know?
crazy thing is, I used to see, I had a friend that had like acne issue, but she still was pretty.
Mhm.
But there go again because of the acne, and she said she was bullied or whatever in school or whatnot. It just follows her. So it's like you
Mhm.
limited, and it's I've seen women that, like you say, they just try to cover it up. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? Because I don't know what it is when you tell someone to go to a dermatologist or a trichologist or really a dermatologist, a doctor. They, especially our women, it's like they get all like, I can't do it, or that I don't know if they think it's too expensive. You know,
That's exactly what it is.
is
They
that what
don't
it
they
is?
Yeah, I would my sister was like that. Not until she got older. And we always
Hmm.
say, it's your diet, right? When
Right.
I was over in the Bahamas, I broke out.
Mm,
Within 72 hours, I was having a reaction. My
mm,
body was shutting down. I'm just now getting back. It seems like back to normal now that I'm
right.
back this side. Your body is going to react. Our body tells us what's going on. We don't listen. We
Right.
just keep going and going and going. My sister, I had bad acne as a kid. That's what pushed me to come with to do the makeup. Large pores,
Hmm.
trying different soaps and acne creams and this all this type of stuff. And I had to do the research, and it was all tied into my environment, my diet, and I had to change those things.
Mm.
A lot of times there's certain medications that we take, the side effect is acne, you
Uh-huh.
know, sometimes certain alcohol. When you reach a certain level, the liver you need a detox,
Right.
you know.
Mm. Yeah, that's what I see. Yeah, Tanya put on here, detox also helps
Mhm.
with acne. I think that
Oh,
those
yeah.
things are
Mhm.
good, but I think that you should always go, if you got issues, you have issues like that, you should go and see a doctor,
Absolutely.
because you know what I mean? Like, doctors were made for that. And it bothers me all the time because just the doctor's visit, just for them to do a basic, to find out what's going on, it really
Mhm.
doesn't cost that much. You guys spend more
Mhm.
on weaves and lace systems and all kind of stuff. When I'm doing consultation, my clients have like 50 products under their sink. Now y'all know we all can testify to that. All
Right.
kind of blow dries, flat irons, this curl, that all these things, you will invest in all that. But when someone say just go to the doctor so they can tell you, it might be something simple that you need to change
Mhm.
and you won't do it. And that's
Yeah.
like, that's crazy to me. It's like, You scared. What are you going to find out? They're going to tell you what's going on, and you can get the help, and you don't have to live in this prison of insecurity, or
Mhm.
worrying about thinking people talking about your skin or your hair or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yes.
So that's what's up. Let me see these comments coming in a lot, a lot. Okay. Flora Congo, hello, first time here. Hi, how are you? MME Flair, a class I took with Marad. Let me know I had hormonal acne. See, all my
Mhm.
life I never knew different areas of the face are signs for different things too. That's really, really good that you pointed that out.
Mhm.
Flair also says stress makes you produce more sebum oil. That's very true. Love Laugh, hey, good to see you. For me, my acne stopped when I cut out milk, ice cream, and chocolate. So it was dairy and caffeine. Lord, I know it was hard to cut out that chocolate because it's that chocolate be calling you. Um, Love Laugh. I had to do a elimination diet. Man, Cheryl Laddie, watching from Jamaica. Everyone, hey, shout out to Jamaica.
Jamaica in the house. How y'all doing?
R Moore. I am under a dermatologist care. Okay, it's absolutely
Awesome.
hard to find an African American dermatologist for hair and skin. I don't feel like my problems are always addressed with the providers. Wow. Now listen, I know that for a fact, Don. When I was doing hair in North Carolina, a lot of they couldn't find one. I'm sure it's there now, but at the time, that's when I started doing the free seminars, because what made me go into hair replacement and working for Hair Club was that I kept seeing so much of our women that was experiencing hair loss. And it was this one particular client I had in Orlando. That lady was the sweetest, kindest woman, took care of herself, health guru. Like, she didn't eat nothing, looked great. She was in her 50s and body was teeth. You know what I mean?
Mhm. Mhm.
And she was losing hair. She was losing her hair. And it was like, you could tell it was inflammation going on and different things, but I was so young into it at the time. I wasn't doing anything with hair replacement because I was in Orlando, so I didn't really understand the science or what was going on. That's another different. It's different from being a hairstylist and a cosmetologist, right?
Mhm.
And I wanted to help her, but I couldn't. But I did help her as far as camouflage the look, because she was a high ranking career, right? And she was in corporate and seeing things, and so she would just go to work with all of
Yeah.
this out and then
Mhm.
curl it back. So you can imagine how she felt. And then when I started, showing her how to do the net and sewing it on, she felt 100% better, right? But I still felt like I didn't help her the way I wanted to, because you got to find out what that is. You know what I mean? And so that's,
Mhm.
to me, I'm always big on what's the source behind it. Don't give me the band-aid to put over the gunshot wound. I need the source behind it so I can turn the faucet off.
Yeah.
Yeah, turn the faucet off. Okay, so with our more, have you looked outside of where you live? And if it's okay, if you could say what city you live in, maybe someone is on here that can tell you about a great um, dermatologist, because you do find a lot of that. A lot of times when I used to tell my clients to go to a dermatologist, they would say things like, okay, you got traction alopecia. Stop putting relaxers in your hair. It was like very basic and vague. And so a lot of our black women, they don't get the help that they need, because they just look at it and they don't really do the necessary steps. So me, Don, I would tell them to get the blood work done. If they lived out, when I came back to Miami, I would say, go to Miss Peggy. I have this lady, Miss Peggy, she's from the islands. She's very holistic, and I have I have not had one client that has gone to her that thought they had permanent hair loss. They started growing their hair back through this lady, right? And she's a trichologist. So that's what I have been doing. But that is a big deal, or more. I absolutely agree with you. I think that we should find people that understand our hair and that know about our hair. There is a link. It's called, I think it's derm. I used to put it in there in the link when I first started doing the videos. I think it's dermatologist.com. So maybe look in there and find somewhere where it's near you that you may have to go to get the help you need, because that's going to be a waste of money if you're still going somewhere and nothing is being done. Tanya Mathis, P. Cheryl, Mr. Wrench, I don't know what he's saying, and what the grandma, and Beverly Douglas. Good evening, Beverly. North Carolina. Hey, that's where I was at. North Carolina. What part of North Carolina? Claire. Cosmetologist here. All right, all right. Shout out to Charlotte. Shout out to you guys. But yeah, so um it's really, really important. And I love the fact that we have so many of you guys that are coming on, finding us. Okay, I am in South Carolina. I was diagnosed with androgenetic alopecia by a visual inspection. What? No test done or anything. I think it's more with inflammation at this point. RDU Triangle. Okay, Durham. So, Emmett Flair, do you know anybody? I had one of my videos where the lady was in, I think she was in Raleigh, North Carolina, and they had some really good ones. You may have to drive, but it's going to be worth it, to get that under control, because you're going to be, I believe that um that's ludicrous for somebody to look at you and tell you, what you may have. They basically just looked at it, no test done, no blood work done, no culture done, no nothing. Yeah. So that in itself, you definitely need to find someone that, not even if they're black, that doesn't mean anything. They have to specialize. They have to be, they have to specialize and understand our hair and be able to do the necessary tests to find out that information. So definitely, I'm gonna go and look and make sure that link is correct, and I can post it in on this video so you can figure out what's going on as far as that. See if you can find a dermatologist there. They basically looked at it. That's crazy. So you see, it's a lot of that going on. It's like one thing I noticed too, even though this is totally different from what we're talking about when you talk about women who have preeclampsia and how they were passing away because nobody was listening or whatever. That's something that's big in our community too, that people don't look at. And this is what this channel is about. That's why Don and I here, guys, we will constantly say this to you. It's like we are the voice for our clients and our hairstylists, right? Our cosmetologists as well. But we created this platform so we could be able to discuss these things, and not just discuss it, but have solutions to it, right? So that's definitely what it is. But it's so funny. I never get to go through all these things because we talked about trauma, like why are we so emotionally tied to our hair, to the point where we can't even trim it. We so scared because you scared that you're gonna be back in the back when you were a kid and somebody call you bald head.
Yeah.
So what happened, Don?
No, I said yes.
Yeah, oh, bald head self or whatever. Her bald headed self. That's how they say it in our school. I was like, child, please. And
Mm.
and then you see them same people, like them people look so good. They look way better than the people that they was getting bullied by, honey. I'd be like, honey, I know
Yeah.
you're crying inside. But
Yeah.
we're so attached to that. But I'm telling you, ladies, a lot of it has to do with our past traumas. A lot of us have caused trauma. You don't want to talk about that part. A lot of us have caused
Mhm.
trauma because of things that have happened in our lives, right? And a lot of us have to okay. A lot of she said, it was this, I don't know how to say your name, Ikra. I hope I'm saying it right. That's so sad. I'm so happy I'm East African. Yeah. The things that, women go through or whatever. A lot of it is we're emotionally tied to it. That's why we don't want to let go of stuff. Some of us be having dreads and and the weight of the hair is taken off your dreads, and you still
Mhm.
walking around holding on to it. I'm like, that thing, because men do it all the time. Like, brother,
Yeah.
please, for the love of God, just cut that thing. It's just the dreads is over, So it's the same thing. I don't have to deal with bald head jokes. Yeah, I didn't have to deal with it because I had hair, but it was people in the elementary school that they did that too. And kids get bullied, and the bullying is worse now, than ever before. So we do go through things, but a lot of us, it can even be in our adulthood, a bad relationship, or a bad experience with doctors. So many different things that we, especially Black, our community, we say, hey, I'm strong, and we just take things. We never really like resolve them. We just move on, and we don't deal with it. And then it comes out in our relationships. It comes out on our clothes and our bodies and how we take care of ourselves, our hair. It comes out on our children. It comes out. And a lot of the emotions that are tied to something as simple, and it's like, you tying at the hair? Yes, a lot of things are because we have not dealt with core issues that have shaped our beauty. When you see a woman, you ever came to a place and you see a woman, you're like, oh my gosh, she always mad. What's she mad about today? Oh my God, what's she depressed? Look, talk to them for a while. And and you'll be amazed. I have talked to friends that talk about what somebody did to them 20 years ago. I had somebody brag about the fact that they remember what somebody did to them in the third grade. And I said, and
Yeah.
how is that working for you?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So a lot of us have a lot of us haven't forgiven ourselves. A lot of us can't move on past things. A lot of us, it's so many textures to that, guys. So when I say now, when I think about when I'm telling a woman self-love, I'm always going to address that core part, because that's what I understand. Some of us are like that because we was raised like that. We were just raised like that. Um, hey, Pauletta Johnson, Dallas, Texas. Hey, Dallas. Good evening. Good evening, Paulette. Let me see. Fleur. I was bald headed. My mom gave me a relaxer, then a Jerry curl. Lord, started K with a boy cut. Oh man, I was never picked on. Good, but growing up, I saw many. I didn't. It didn't affect me in a bad way. Why I do hair, but that's why I do hair now. Yeah, same thing. Igor, the saddest part is that it's often your own people doing it to the most. Yep, it is often our own people, our own, and that's a big thing. I was walking through some place recently last week, and a young lady said to me, "Why you dress up when you why you always dressing up, girl? I couldn't be wearing no heels like that. Why you dress up like that?" And I said, I love it. I said, I love it. I love the fact that God woke me up this morning and I got
Yeah.
a chance to shine, right?
Amen.
I got a chance to shine. And she was like, dang, she wasn't in a bad way. It wasn't
Yeah.
in a bad way that she was just talking. She was a really cool person. I said,
Mhm.
there's no way I would get up and come into any place with bedroom slippers on. She had bedroom slippers. I said, there's no way. It's a dishonor. It has been, when you think about, and I know y'all, I'm gonna let it go when I finish saying what I'm saying. When you think about our ancestors, you think about all the things that our people have gone through in life just for you to walk. And I used to tell this to my kids, they hated that. For you to go to school, to be able to go to college or whatever, and you just, if it's not for you, you find out what is for you. But your ancestors, your great parents went through hell and high water for you to have the freedom to walk wherever you want and to take care of yourself and look great and to be a light for your community. And I think for me, it is a dishonor and it's a disgrace when I see a woman that gets up in the morning with a bonnet on her head and slides on her feet and can care less and walk out that door. That's just me. because I woke up and I'm looking at you, looking at the world today and all the things going on. The least you can do is take care of yourself. I listen to people that are going through hardships. I don't have nothing to complain about. I'm seeing people that are homeless, working, living in a car, and you want to know why I wear heels and why I make sure my hair, my makeup is on point, and my clothes. I feel good. So when I feel good and I come in the room, I'm gonna talk to you and I'm gonna make you feel good.
It's
That's what
called
it's
high
about.
self-esteem.
What happened, Don?
It's called high self-esteem.
Right. It's weird for you to have high self-esteem because we
Yeah,
so used to walking around mad with low self-esteem and not
yeah.
caring, right? We're so used to that it's like, what? And I'm looking at her, and then guess what? That next day, that sister came. She said, "Well, I'm trying." I said, "Well, you look good, baby. You look good." You know what I mean? Because a lot of times people don't know about it, and it's not this.
Yeah,
I'm not in competition. I don't dress. I don't dress for anybody. I dress for myself. I
right.
literally, I'm telling y'all, I dress for myself because I have fought battles that have never been talked about, just me and God. I have fought battles. So sometimes when I get up in the morning, I had to tell this lady, and she was like, "That's a beauty. I never saw it like that." I have fought battles behind the scenes. So when I come up, I'm like, Lethra, you may not feel good, but make yourself feel good. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Put yourself
Hmm.
together. Everything
Absolutely.
gonna work itself out. And sometimes you just need that, you know. So my emotions, you got to put those things in check. And whatever the situation may be with us, try to make sure you look good. If you got dead hair, you got bad ends, trim your ends, ladies. It does not look good. You got length on your hair, but it does not look good. Jerry Fisher, hello. Donna E. Lewis, hello. M. Flair. My bougie aunt told me that about wearing scarves and bonnets outside. She let me have it. And now, knowing the history of why we covered our hair, I don't at all, not even to sleep. All right, that's what I'm talking about.
Mhm.
Jerry Fisher said, God is good. Cool. M. Flair says, high self esteem intimidates others. Igor says, so happy you're breaking generational curses. That's right, Jerry. Without God, you are nothing. Right, right, right. And high self esteem, I have a good, what I'm talking about, Jay Don. Jay say
Mhm.
this thing, I say, you're right. He said, people like for you to just lie to them. They like for you to BS to, and I was like, he said, is he always say, especially women, y'all like, and I'm like, that's really, really true. We prefer pretty, he said, you like pretty words and stuff like that. You like all those different things. But when somebody is telling you the truth, it's an issue. Or you know what I'm saying? It's something, or whatever the case may be. And it's the same
Yeah.
thing. I feel like when you see someone that is proud of themselves, proud to be dark skinned and alive, and you know what I mean, and just
Hmm.
living, right? You look at that and say, what's wrong with them? Because we're so become immune to dysfunction and
Yeah.
living a lie, living a facade. You go to church, how you doing? Blessed, highly favored. We got all the sayings and all these things, and living in hell at home.
Yeah.
Ain't happy at all, right? The best actors are at the churches. Trust me, I know the best actors. So when you got all that stuff going on, it's like, what we doing? So it looks odd for somebody to want to take care of themselves. This not the channel for you. This I'm telling you, this not the channel for you. So happy, yeah, yeah, yeah. Spiritual. Why do Black women spiritual mindfulness? I don't know, Don, if you want to answer this. Meditation and lovingness. Why do Black women try to shame Black women wearing a pixie to grow our hair and stop wearing lace wigs? You want it?
Everybody can't wear a pixie. Some people got a big back and a big neck. You can't wear a pixie. So a pixie is not for everyone. So we all can't wear a pixie. So
Right. And
you know,
everybody can't wear and hold on and try to grow their
mhm,
hair and everybody can't wear lace wigs.
right.
So I don't know why we tear each other down, but we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up. And last but not least, Igor says, people hate the truth teller. Don't bother, just observe till they are ready. Absolutely, absolutely. Guys, we want to thank you guys for tuning in to if you have not, we need you guys. We're at, I think we need 12 more people to
Mhm,
join on Beauty Pioneers so we can go live on that channel. So if you guys don't mind, please go to Beauty Pioneers. It's in the red sign and join there, subscribe there so we can start going live. I appreciate you guys on my channel, but I would like for Beauty Pioneers to grow and on its own and do its own thing. But we're growing it out. And listen, spiritual mindfulness, meditation, and lovingness. People say why Dawn hair is blonde, why she got long dreads. People say you teaching on such and such, and you put a relax in your hair, or you wear weave. We don't. It got to be some point in your life. I'm just gonna keep it 100. I don't care. I'm at a place. I don't know if it's because we get older, Dawn, but they don't really care.
I
I'm not.
D
What happened,
G
Dawn?
IDGAF.
We don't really care. I have graduated from what people think. As long as I'm good with myself, I'm true with myself, and I have done the
Yeah,
work.
yeah,
I don't really get that. People, let me tell you what people do. This is the best way I can tell you. People, a lot of times, envy you. That's why they say the negative things. They follow you. They
right.
keeping up with you. You so bad, but they keeping up with you. So they actually envy you because you actually doing what they want you to do. That's number one. The other thing is
Hmm.
people push their insecurities and their issues. They project it onto you. So the best thing I
Hmm.
can tell you to do is, child, dust your feet off, keep looking fabulous, and carry on.
Carry
Such is
on.
life. Carry on.
Look,
Don, any last words before we close out?
I love y'all. Stay at the club. Don't.
Oh my gosh, Don, stay at the club and don't run into the baby daddy. Is that
That's
stay? Don
that
says stay
part.
at the club, and that's what we have to say to the people that got problem with people with pixie cuts that's growing out their hair. Stay at the club and don't run into your baby daddy. We don't care. All right, we love you guys. We will see you next week, Sunday, same time, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Shout out to Don, Coach Don Ferguson. Oh, the links are on as well for you guys that are looking for one-on-one, that's looking to start growing your hair back or whatever issues you may have. You can go ahead and you can send an email and we will go ahead and set you up on your one-on-ones. Shout out to my one-on-one clients that are doing good and changing their lives for the better. And we wish you guys the best. We'll see you next week.
Yeah.
Bye.
Love the fit.
Smooches.
I love that jacket.
What jacket?
That fit your outfit.
Oh, that's just a half a one shoulder vest.
Your one shoulder vest is hitting it.
Thank you. That's from the place you shop at too, Don. Smooches. Bye, y'all.
Take care.